Welcome back, folks. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments, and today we completed a transaction here in Florida with a gentleman who buys storage type of purchases, estate sale type purchases, and he likes to throw the dice and go big money, no whammies, and that's what he does. There's a lot of people that are into that kind of thing. They like to see, if they can really kind of find the diamond in the rough type thing, and this gentleman told me, most of the time, no. He buys these things in estate sales, and it turns out poorly. Today, he went through it all, and check this out. I'll show you off camera. This is what I had to go through also. And unfortunately, most of the time, it is a bunch of crap. Literally, a bunch of bulk. I mean, you got to go through it because you never know. But again, like I was flipping through this stuff. I'll show you guys a little bit. And and you can definitely tell when you see stuff like this, and see how there's a lot of missing slots on the pages. That's usually a sign somebody's already gone through it. Somebody's already kind of dug, see this? Somebody's gone through this stuff, and they've already looked for expensive cards, and the fact that we're seeing Fallen Empires, 4th edition, Fallen Empires, oh, 4th edition, little Tetravis action, Ice Age, Homelands, you can see this stuff, and actually there are a few little hidden sleepers in some of these sets that are a couple dollars now, but overall nothing really dramatic. Now, revised cards is an interesting thing, everybody. Revised cards, I still feel, are really going to... There's a hidden opportunity in the future for revised. Right now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, you all. There's very little opportunity in a lot of these revised things. But I do believe as the years and the time goes forward, revised is going to continue to be a special thing. So, and again, even some of these 4th edition cards, there's not a lot of financial value, but they're really getting old. And it's tough to find nice condition things. And historically, as you can see... Nice condition over here. Historically, when you deal with a lot of older cards and estate sales, storage units, Goodwill listings, Craigslist, Backpage, Silk Roads, when you deal with all these things, you're going to run into most cards are pretty well loved or pre-picked through, and you're really just not going to find much, see? Now, look, here's a nice little page. We got actually a little revised veteran, revised personal and card. You got some revised commons, then you jump back to the Homelands. There's a 4th edition. So you can definitely see these were not sorted by set or year. This was sorted by color. So it tells me immediately this was not a collector investor. This was an actual player. When he built his decks, he sorted all his cards. They are not alphabetized. You can see R, Divine, D, then it goes back. So there's no actual alphabetizing on the cards. It's just by color, maybe by spell or type, and maybe there was some system to it. But anyway, so as you can see, this has definitely been picked through. Somebody, before it was placed into an estate sale or sold online, somebody went through and scanned for high dollar stuff. So you can definitely tell because the pages, the way there are cards randomly missing like that, that tells me maybe there were Shivan Dragons, maybe revised Fork, maybe some cards that did have values. Like, look at this page right here, everybody. Look at this. You've got revised cards like Majay de Jim, you got Power Surges, Warlords, Elementals. But I would want to say, why don't we have like Rock of Courageous? Why don't we have Rock Hydra? Why don't we have Shivan Dragon? Why don't we have Fork? You see what I'm saying? That's usually the kind of things. And you'll notice too, like A, B, C, D, F, G, K, there should be like a fork or something. Like I feel like that's when I see this kind of stuff. So, but on a side note, in a bulk box, there was a couple, like I said, there's this old denim binder. Denim, no joke. This was really rough condition. And unfortunately, let me try to raise the camera a little bit for you guys there, just so you can see a little bit in the frame. Let me raise it a little higher. There you go. So this is truly one of the registration, credential, trademark things that I look for when someone claims that they have an estate sale, Goodwill type thing, if they're bamboozling me or not, is I look at the details. Like when I look at this right here, okay, this was clearly the money binder, okay? And also, look at the binder. Look at the binder. This is a flippin' denim binder. And look at the binder. Look. 1991, a denim flippin' binder. Which, again, this matches the age and the wear and tear of the cards, the sleeves, the actual 3-ring. So in other words, the items themselves line up. So, because you can't really, it's a little bit more difficult than you think to kind of make things age and actually get the correct age and wear and tear on cards. I've seen many times over these people try to fake the wear, scrape the card. I've seen all kinds of crap. But this is all looks like it's from the correct time period, the correct wear and tear, the correct wear. The sleeves are not like brand new sleeves with old cards. So this is actually, I believe the story to be legit. So in this situation, I was like, okay, this guy sent me literally a picture of like this page. Well, just right here, not this. And I said, okay, so he does have some expensive stuff here. I said, all right, so let's try to work together. Let's see what we can do here. So when I received them, I kind of figured just by looking at the picture and the wear, usually when something's this worn and rough, the cards are going to be pretty rough, which means, unfortunately, the financial value is going to get annihilated. There is not going to be a lot of opportunity, even in the future when the prices continue to drift and, inflation or, kind of slowly wander higher in price as the years go by. Cards in this rough a condition are really going to be frowned upon. So, I mean, look at this Scrubland. This thing is literally so heavy played. There's no actual creases, but I would almost consider this into the damage category. This thing is just annihilated, and then it doesn't have any actual creases though. There's no rips and missing cardboard, but these things are pretty, like, here you go. So this I would consider a damaged card. When you have an actual crease in the card, like right there, I can literally peel some of the card stock itself back. This would be a damaged Scrubland. And again, I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. This sucker's... Can you imagine the amount of old games this thing has been played? I can't imagine how many times this has been slid on the sidewalk or on like tables and desks in schools. This sucker has seen some serious middle high school usage from literally the 90s. So that's the thing. So you got to, when you discuss things with people, whether you're buying or selling these type of cards, you can't bamboozle. You got to be right up front. Like, look, the cards are authentic. I'm not disagreeing with that. Our most expensive card in this whole collection is this well-loved Nether Void. We're not going to, there's actually no fake cards or anything like that. We don't have any inking. We don't have any touch-ups. We don't have any trimming or tampering. But there's no way to say, nothing here is gradable. Nothing here is going to be priced very solidly. I mean, we're talking if we're lucky, moderate played. We're talking everything's going to be heavy played damage. And a lot of people get very confused. This one this one feels a little strange. This one actually has moisture water damage. Like when an old card has this kind of curling to it, that is actual moisture, or it's been wet or extremely humid for a long period of time. So chances are this was stored in either a storage locker, an attic, a basement, or an estate. It's been sitting maybe in a house with the utilities turned off for many years. This sucker, like you can tell, like that's not normal. Old cards don't do that. I know everyone's like, well, Rudy, it's 2020. All my cards are Pringles. Watsy loves me. Papa Hasbro gives me the reach around. I know what you're thinking. But no, old Magic cards, believe it or not, are some of the best quality pieces of trading cards money can buy. I know it's crazy. The cards from 25, 30 years ago are the best, and everything since is just, I know. So, but again, this is a nicer condition card compared to the rest, and it's still pretty rough and curled. It's got it's got resistance on when you flex it, which tells me it's kind of stiff. The actual paper has actually been wet and dried and kind of reformed a little bit, as they say. So when you deal with that, for those of you interested in this type of business and buying and selling collections, make sure, don't try to trick your seller or buyer. Like this gentleman, when he was contacting me and selling, he said, look, I got these. This is where they came from. This is what's going on. Hey, you want to buy them? Can we work something out? I really don't want to sell individually. These things are in rough shape. We all knew. And I told him, I said, look, man, these things are rough. Like even the buy list prices on these things are rough. I'll cover your shipping. We'll get this thing moved. We'll get everything safe to the store here. We'll take a look. But overall, I would check online pricing of things, because these things are, remember, do not go online and just type in, oh, Chromium, oh, Scrubland, oh, Nether Void, Land Tax. Let's just type it in and say, whoa, Nether Void. I just saw a PSA 10 Nether Void sell for $2,000. I saw a BGS 9 sell for like $1,000. Rudy, I'll do like 700. Bro, those are, old cards. Condition swings the pendulum so extreme, it makes people unhappy when they realize how extreme that is. So I just want to share that. So we do have a couple good cards there on the next page. Obviously, the biggest thing I was excited to see is obviously these three in the middle here. Power Leech, the Coffin. Actually, I think the Coffin, somebody told me, I think it was this morning before I was filming this video, somebody told me there was a buyout or people are attempting to buy it. Not sure if anything that's really going to stick or not. Recall, again, 4th edition reprint, not reserve list. Power Leech, I think, is reserve list. Believe it or not, the Mightstone Wheatstones, these are actually reserve lists. These are actually reserve lists. Again, not super pricey cards. So we had a few other little things. I was actually excited to see this. Like I saw an unlimited Shivan Dragon. Remember, Alpha, Beta, the original ABU Shivan Dragons are actually really good cards, and they're actually not cheap. Well, again, if yours wasn't played 10,000 games without a sleeve on a sidewalk in middle school. But, if, these cards, some of these old ones, boy, this thing is really, is that corner, even the corner's bent. But it's cool. It's, again, I still enjoy well-loved cards. There's actually a segment of the market out there. There are investors and collectors and players that only buy played or heavy played cards. They put them in their double sleeve little decks and they like to just play the game. And a lot of people prefer that because they can buy the card for literally 30 cents on the dollar compared to buying a gem mint condition from Pack Fresh. You can buy a lot of the old cards way cheaper because the price swings. I mean, literally, a gem mint alpha card could be $1,000. A light play could be like $600. A heavy play could be like $300 on eBay. Like the price can swing by like 200-300%. So a lot of players prefer heavier stuff like this. So, it's not that big a deal. Just you got to know your audience. You got to know the pricing. You got to be very cautious to not overpay for rougher cards. Let's talk about for a second. We got the dark over here, ladies and gentlemen. The dark. Oh, what a set. So we got some Preachers and Mana Vortex, and of course a little Season of the Witch. Some of the best cards in the dark. Again, we're not talking $500 a card. I don't even think these things. I don't even think Mana Vortex is even $100. I think I'd have to check the pricing. We got a little Tempest card over here. I'm not sure if that's the reserve list or reprinted one. I have to check. But a lot of these Season of the Witch and Preacher cards, very unique cards. These are more long-term cards. I do believe in 3, 5, 10-year range. These cards are really underappreciated. And these should appreciate a lot more into the future, but I genuinely think it's going to take a long time. But if you have the opportunity, I would slowly build your positions in cards like that. Over here, Antiquities, some little things over here. We got a little Obelisk. We got some Gremlins, which are just adorable. We got some reprint Chronicles, Frankenstein's Monster, Infamous Frankenstein's Monster, and Infamous Stone Calendar. I thought this was kind of interesting because I was like, out of all the cards that were in this binder, I thought it was kind of interesting that the two hot 2017 buyout targets from the dark, which was Frankenstein's Monster and Stone Calendar, were in here side by side. I kind of thought that was a little strange, especially for some sort of estate sale, something that's been sitting for many years. I was like, years ago, nobody really did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought this was kind of a strange little placement for this particular page. I found that to be suspicious on whoever did this or however long, because I was like, nobody for the last 30 years in Magic, besides the last couple of years, would even care about these cards. So that was kind of strange to me. Then we jump over to Revised. And again, unfortunately, some of these almost has no value. Like this to me, has no value. Like this to me, I wouldn't even pay a 25 cents for it. There's just no value. It's water damage. It's creased. It's stained. It's warped 4 times. It's got mold on the front. There's just no value there. It's a zero card. You can give it away to some kids, which is probably what I'll do, but there's nothing you can do with that. Revised Vesuvian, Fast Bonds, Howling Minds, very iconic cards over here. You got some 4th edition cards. 4th edition is still something that's, again, that was in 1995 where Magic became very popular. The print runs for 4th edition Ice Age skyrocketed, so 4th edition cards are very difficult to quote-unquote invest or collect or see price appreciation. Even Revised, the joke was always, Revised cards will never go up except dual lands. Well, Vesuvian, copy artifact, there's nowadays a little different. But overall, the supply and print on Revised was so extreme, everybody was bearish on it. In the last couple of years, I've been starting to focus a little bit more on Revised because I'm really starting to think Revised could be something major in the future. But I'm on the fence about it because the supply is just so big, everybody. I can't get behind it yet. I keep flipping and flopping, Over here, we got some older late 90s era cards. We got some Visions action down here. Weatherlight, Firestorm, Reserve List. We got some Mercadian Mass, Infamous Food Chain. We've got a little Legends action, a little Tempest and Reanimate, original printing Tempest over here, which I think Reanimate was actually a common back then. And then we jump all the way forward and you get this random Modern Masters 2015. You got an Eldrazi card, super, super weird. And then, of course, you got one Onslaught for the Polluted Delta. Very bizarre batch of cards. Like that said, it leads me to think that somebody in the past, or maybe the seller or the person before him or whoever, went through these sleeves in the back, all these things. Remember on these empty slots, they pulled out the good cards, sold them, and then maybe other cards they put in here, and these are the ones they didn't sell. I'm speculating. I just don't know, everybody. So in here, then of course we got a couple Tron lands. Tron lands, I know people bash me every time. I still think Tron lands, original Blackboard Antiquity Tron lands, should be, make fun of me, minimum $20 a piece. Most likely in the future, $50 to $100 a piece for Tron lands for actual pack fresh ones that were gradable. Is that ever going to come true? Honestly, probably not. There's a lot of them out there, and there's reprints of, what, Chronicles, 4th edition? I don't know. And they're actually reprinting them now, even in 2019, 2020, VIP, am I right? So, another interesting page here. Like I said, this is a very strange collection. That's why I'm really interested to see what you guys' opinion is in these comments. Because very bizarre. And this is not a big deal transaction. This thing wasn't like a $10,000 deal. I mean, I paid the guy $7 and that was it. No, I'm kidding. Am I? Fine, $650. But on this page, again, look at this. Look what we have here. No color sorting, no sets. Well, technically, this is an Ice Age page. But think about it. You got the Mystic Fishy, which is, I don't know, I think it might actually be reserved. You got Illusions. You got some Elves, Dance of the Dead. And you've got the infamous Hydra. You got a different artwork at the original common counterspell with the Ice Age artwork in Necro. So you have some expensive cards from Ice Age here. But it's like, I think this was recently put together like that. And then when you jump to this page, you kind of have some newer stuff, different things. I mean, look at that. You got the Therese Nielsen Factor Fiction cards. You got some Onslaught Mask. You got some Nemesis Plane Shifts. Then you go over to Mirrodin and Dark Steels and, Fifth Dawn. It's kind of strange on those things. And then when you get to the back of this binder, there's only 2 pages left, everybody. Then you just get random foils. Common foil from Onslaught Basic Land. You got some Stronghold Rebound, Stronghold Smite. You get some cards like, why would you put a common, like, I mean, Carpet of Flowers, that's actually a good uncommon from Saga. So, and of course, you got a Bauble over here from Ice Age, which reminds me of that huge Bauble and some free food from the 90s. Bauble was a big deal. People were buying out Baubles. I remember that in 2018, and then Mishra's Bauble went crazy, like $50 before they reprinted it. Remember that crap? And then again, over here, similar thing. Different era, more of the 2000s era with a different card frame, and that is it for the binder there. So overall, like I said, strange little collection. Final thought for you all. I'll flip through it while I'm kind of giving you guys my final thought. Like I said, the fact that there's nothing of value in all these pages, and they're all missing random slots. Nobody takes the time and puts cards in sleeves. And by the way, these sports card sleeves are from the 90s. They're yellow. They're a different material. They don't make them anymore. Some of these are different. I think this is actually an Ultra Pro one. Yeah, so these are, I mean, there's so many different types of sleeves mixed together here. And nobody puts cards in here and skips slots. That doesn't happen. Which tells me, again, that these things were picked through and redone. Look at this Homelands. Was this like a Homeland set? This, to me, almost feels like somebody was building a Homeland set. Look at all the Homeland. Like, Ivan Shade was a big deal back in the day. And then you get Chronicle cards together. Look at that. The Wretched, Hell's Caretaker. If these were Blackboard original cards, they would be pricey. And then again, all Ice Age. So it almost feels kind of like there was somebody broke down a bunch of sets. Him, Torax, Fallen Empires. It's a very... Look at this whole page. Look at these pages. Isn't that strange? So that's about all I have to say today, everybody. I thought you all would appreciate a strange estate sale storage unit. Look at this. Oh, look at this coming up. Look at this. Whole page of Legends. That's the rule card in the pack of a real pack of Legends, which is like $500 a pack in today's market. Actually, probably almost $1,000 a pack now. I mean, So wait, I guess maybe that's where the Nether Void came from. I don't know. And then now you look, all Fallen Empires. Now what? Look, almost looks like a revised set. Look at that. All the artifacts in alphabetical order? No. So anyways, that's about all I have to say here, folks. I hope you guys learned something today. The biggest takeaway I just want to end this video on is when you deal with Goodwill, estate sales, Craigslist Backpage, Rudy Silk Road, just be real careful because people will put one little card or a fake Black Lotus in the corner, and you got to be real cautious. You got to set expectations realistically, and please do not fall for the trap that if it's too good to be true, you found this one listing, you're gonna hit it big and make hundreds of thousands of dollars. Please don't fall for that in 2020. If it's too good to be true, it is. You want to build wealth and get ahead? I'm going to be honest with you, and it's going to make a lot of you upset. You got to grind it, and it takes a minimum of 5 to 10 years of being a boring, selfish, disciplined person, of working your butt off, saving, and just living very quiet and frugal. That's the nasty reality. That's the best advice I can give 99% of the population. That's it.